wow. Oh, wow. Wow, that finish shifted on me. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's good.
It's as good as I remember.
I just can't recommend it. I just can't. It's so crazy. I just can't do it.
You can't win them all, man.
This one, I think you gotta like take some time with it, try and figure out, because every sip I'm taking too, it's like, well, what's this now? It's like, it's changing.
Well, that's exceptional. That is exceptional.
Our palates are gonna be destroyed. So what we are doing is hanging out, having some whiskey. I've got 6 bottles. Riley has got 6 bottles. So some of these are going to be all new for us, new pours. I think I found 6 that Riley hasn't had yet. He's got 6 that I don't think I've had yet. Mm-hmm. It's not a competition. We're just having fun, drinking some whiskey, but we are going to write down scores for all of them just so we can figure out what do we like the most at the end of all this, which I think will be really interesting because we've got some, I know I've got some heavy hitters. I know you probably do too. So why don't you kick us off? Because we talked a little bit. I know you have some that's a little bit lower proof. That's a good palate warmer.
Yep, start us off with
the
cornerstone for 90-ish proof. This is the new Woodford Masters Collection release.
Oh, wow.
The Sonoma triple finish.
So where did you get this?
Got this back in Texas over Thanksgiving time. Black Friday, everybody was lined up in front of Total Wine to get all the Goose Island beers.
Yeah.
I beelined it straight for the bourbon section. They didn't really have anything put out, but they did have one of these sitting out on the shelf.
Really?
And
sitting on the shelf. That's totally
it's just on the shelf. And I almost got into a fight with somebody over it because it was the only one.
Yeah, just one of them left. That's crazy, man.
It was about $150 something bucks after tax. So, about par for the course with these.
Yeah, that's what these go for.
Been finishing Pinot Noir, brandy, and former bourbon barrels that were used to age red wine. So
that sounds really good.
Yeah, a lot going on here, and
there is a lot going on. I can't pinpoint any flavors. I can kind of get the wine a little bit now that you say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get the wine on the nose a lot with this one.
I don't know if I could tell it was a Woodford or not.
The first time I opened this bottle, I was in my living room, and my wife was sitting on the other couch. I was on one couch, she was on the other, and I opened it, and she just goes, "Gosh, I can smell that from here."
That's incredible. If you can smell from that far. All right, I'm going for it, man. That smells fantastic.
That's a strong finish.
Oh, and it coats the glass really nice. Has a nice mouth. Oh, wow. Wow, that finish shifted on me.
The wine influence comes through.
It really came through at the end. I didn't get it on the palate, really. Oh, wow.
Woodford doesn't mess up with these. I'm such a sucker for the Woodford batch proof 124.7.
That one's incredible.
And I have yet to get a historic barrel entry, but I will.
That finish is wild. That's grape juice heavy. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously from the wine, but that's like a Welch's grape juice.
As with all these too, it's just just enough oak, just enough
just enough everything.
That Woodford vanilla. I get so much vanilla on all their stuff.
Let me see if I can get vanilla out of it. This is the first pour, obviously. So I'm warming up here a little bit. This is a great one for a first pour, even though it's a flavor bomb for the proof.
Yeah.
Especially the smell, but the finish being as long as it is too at that proof, that's really impressive. And that finish is so different, but so good. Wow. I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. So I did get the vanilla on that pour there.
It's on the tip of the palate for me.
Right there, the very front, if you pay attention, it's there. But that wine finish kicks in so heavy. Good Kentucky hug as it goes down. Feels like that's a good start.
Yeah, wow. 90.4 proof. And you get this much flavor off of it,
that's impressive, man. The only thing I've had at that below 100 proof that had this much flavor was that Michter's 10 that you let me try. Because that one was also mind-boggling. Yeah. The finish and the flavor on that proof was incredible.
Oh, that's a special freaking bottle.
I think I'm gonna give it an 85.
I was gonna say 86. So I think we're in the same ballpark there.
What's interesting about this is obviously the finish right? So it's so atypical to what I think a lot of people would expect out of a Woodford. You're going to get like a little bit of vanilla. You're going to get just your typical bourbon, but the wine influence, I feel like, comes through so quick, and it really kind of overtakes the palate. So I think it loses a little bit for me just because the wine influence is so high. That's just me though. But at 85, I'm thinking it's like a great score too.
That's kind of the point of
so
these.
good. I know it is. That's where I'm kind of like, what do I do with it? Because it is so different than anything I've had. But what are your final thoughts on this one?
I don't think there are many bottles that this compares to, just from a foundational standpoint. Like you'll find wine finishes everywhere.
So yeah, I'm gonna start with the Willett Purple Top. We're gonna go with the wheated. So this one, I told you about this when I found it. I was not looking for this bottle at all.
It just found you.
It did find me. I've never had a Willett anything before. So this is all new to me. Obviously I'm familiar with Willett, and I know the purple tops and the estates and all that are supposed to be really good. This is their most rare stock, the wheated bourbon that they have. So this is the most rare thing that they have, is my understanding. And then when I was doing a little bit of research on this, according to K&L Wines, which is the website that sells from California, they sell a lot of liquor and stuff and bourbon. They're saying that they're all pulling these from the same batch, basically. And so when they first released this, I think it was a little over a year ago, there's a place you can look on the bottle here, and it's down in the bottom, W23111002C. And according to K&L Wines, this one is actually now 10 years old, this Willett. So it's supposedly a 10-year-old. It's a wheated bourbon. It's expensive. I won't say I didn't want to buy it. I wasn't looking for it. I had to think about it. I was like,
you were conflicted when you
I was really conflicted because I had no desire. I wasn't looking for it, like I said. But my guy at the store was just like, hey man, I got something in you're going to like. And I was like, really? Okay, let's see. And then he showed me and I was like, man, I don't even know what to do with this. But yeah, so that's what it is. So it's one of those bottles. I think it's like a trophy bottle almost, where you pull it out and people are like you, or you're like, oh,
got a purple top,
Oh, and the bottle's beautiful. It's basically an old Weller antique 107 bottle that they like painted black and put like the gold lettering on, and then the purple foil and all that made it look fancy. But
purple tops stand out, whether it be the family estates, standard bourbon, the rye.
It's got a nice nose. So I mean, it smells kind of like a typical wheated to me.
Yeah, the nose on it's phenomenal.
Oh, it actually is. It's gotten better. The nose has gotten better than it was when I've tried this because I just was like, let me just see.
It's like I've just like you before, I've never had any Willett products. No. So, I hear about like the Willett herbal note that a lot of people get.
Yeah.
So it's like, part of me is like, all right, let's see if that's actually there.
Yeah.
The other part's just like, let's just ride,
Yeah, this one, people are always so conflicted on this. The nose is fantastic though. I'm gonna give it a go.
Got a little bit of a bite to that there. What's the proof on it?
I think so. It's 108. So it's not bad. When I was trying to think of like a blind for that, I'm like, put it up against the elephant in the room is the cellar aged, because you're looking at older, higher proof, cheaper, also impossible to find. But I wanted to put it up against that and maybe the old Weller Antique 107 because about the same proof. And then maybe like the Rebel 10 year because that's also a 10. But then I had the Rebel 10 year and I was like, Rebel 10 year is not going to stand up to any of the others.
This is just kind of harsh to me.
You think so?
Yeah.
When I first tasted it, I got black licorice. Big time. I got licorice.
I see it.
And I was like, whoa, that is different.
There's a strong oak presence on it. I do see where that herbal note comes in.
You get it? Yeah.
And I don't know if it's herbal or if it's just like ethanol. It's like I take a breath in and I feel like coolness in my nostrils after. Like
I'm not getting that as much, which is interesting to me because to me this felt really soft, especially when I drank it. I was like, for the proof, I thought it would drink under 108, which I know 108 isn't high, but it just didn't seem. It's interesting because I felt it didn't have that. I mean, the nose it seems kind of standard to me for a wheated. The palate is not a flavor bomb. Like when I first cracked open that cellar aged and took a sip, I was like, oh, flavor bomb, just an explosion. And this is slower and it's kind of like a slow ride. It's complex enough, I think, but
for me, like it hits me quick, But just like everything, you know, in that, or I can't say everything, as most things that are in that high dollar, high value, high quality range, it's just the finish just lasts forever on them. And it's like on this, the thing that's impressive to me is the finish is just as strong as the initial palate.
The finish is very strong. I got that licorice again just now.
Yeah, I definitely get the licorice.
If I look for it, I can find it. But what's so funny is I wasn't looking for it when I first got it. And I had to look online. I was like, am I crazy or is there licorice in there? I found one other person on a comment that was like, I get licorice out of these. And I was like, thank you.
You're not crazy.
I'm not crazy because I got it. But I couldn't find it again after I got it the first time. And then I didn't see it again or I didn't taste it again after that. But
it's a good pour.
Sure, it's a good pour.
Is it, like $250, $300 good?
Yeah, and also impossible to find. I was in line today at the Total Wine. I think somebody started talking about it, and I was like, look, man, I just can't recommend it. I just can't. It's so crazy. I just can't do it. But I would never turn down a pour because it's not bad. But I would never buy one of those again, ever. Yeah, I just wouldn't do it.
If the day comes where, you know, the options available, like it's just like everything like this, you know, where it's so hard to find. The day I see it's going to be tough to look at it and just walk away.
Yeah.
Just because like the scarcity, it's that FOMO, fear of missing out. Like,
yeah, they've done a nice job with their branding because my understanding though is that they were sourcing, I guess, bourbon early on. And that was like the really good stuff.
Interesting.
And then now I think this is my understanding. And if that's wrong, I'll correct it. But I think, so what I read is that the people who are the old Willett fans will actually buy the new ones to flip them and sell them.
And get the older Willett.
Yeah, because they want the older ones because that's where, you know, Willett really got its name for the quality and being delicious. And then these newer ones, not that it's bad. It isn't bad. I guess that's what I want to clarify.
It's certainly good.
It's certainly good. But for me, the rating, I'm going to give it, you want to go first this time? Because I went first last time.
I'm trying to think in relation to how we rated the first one, just so we can get a bit of a scale going here. I'm going to go 61.
I'm 60.
There you go. Keep up.
We're literally one off.
In line.
We are one off every time. Hey, so this next Tuesday, January 16th, I will be live revealing my top 25 bottles of 2023. I'll be live at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on YouTube. So I hope I see you guys there.
So this one here is going to be an interesting one. I got right here a bottle of Southern Collective. This is from the Melrose Barrel Pickers out of Tennessee. And this is their Bad Apple pick. It's got the nice tater sticker on it. But Southern Collective, what they do is they source all of their whiskey from Lord knows where.
Yeah.
They let it age a bit more in their shop. Then they do a lot of really cool finishes. But this is a fantastic pick. It's a wheater. It's at 121.6 proof. And let's see, it's aged at least 4 years. And it's distilled in Kentucky. So I don't know exactly who this is from, but it's damn good.
So you got this online.
Yep.
How much did a bottle of this run you?
It cost me about 120, I believe. Somewhere in the ballpark of there. Obviously, I had to pay for it to get shipped in as well.
Yeah.
The Melrose Barrel Pickers, they operate through Colonial Liquors in Nashville, so they have a good operation going.
This nose is better than the Willett. I'm gonna give it that already. It's like your wheater, but it's like that Willett if the Willett just were up here. You know, it's like more of everything the Willett was. It just gives me more.
Well,
what's the proof on this again?
121.
Much higher proof. So
so take that into consideration.
So, because I was thinking when I'm thinking of how to blind, I'm like, I can't put the Willett against the Larceny barrel proofs because they'll just smoke it. Yeah. You know, I mean, it just won't even be close. I can't even do it against the Rebel Cast Strength. The Rebel Cast Strength would smoke that Willett too, which is crazy. That was a pick
because it's a fifth of the price.
Oh, I know. It literally is. I mean, it's unbelievable.
So Steven knows, but you know, y'all don't know me that well yet. I store picks over everything pretty much. If I see one, I'm gonna get it. Have a wonderful collection of store picks right now. I'd say about 40 to 50 bottles of them right now. So
wow, you're up there.
When picking bottles for this, I was like, I can't only bring store picks because where's the fun in that? So I limited myself to 2 today.
I think it's a lot of fun to get store picks. I love that. I mean, I think it's cool too to see who's doing the good store picks, especially locally. That'd be a fun video to make. Like who's doing the best store picks in town. For me, it's got to be either like Seville and Cerrito, probably like competing.
Cost Plus.
Oh, you're right. And I haven't had, I mean, Richie's could probably, have something to say about it too. All right, I'm diving in.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's as good as I remember.
Where do you think they're sourcing this from?
If it's Kentucky, I just want to say Green River.
Yeah. And I'll tell you that Green River Wheated Bourbon is fantastic.
Yeah.
So maybe that could be it.
But I know Southern Collective has also done barrelings of Heaven Hill bottles as well, or barrels.
Okay.
So could be some of that. Could be something outside. They do a lot of really interesting stuff. So
that's really good. I just get your typical wheated flavors. I mean, to me, this is what I think a wheated bourbon is supposed to taste like. So it's got a good amount of sweetness, a nice little, that spice, especially at the end. But the vanilla, just all kind of your standard notes.
I think the thing that, makes it to where it could potentially be appley is it's like right there hidden in it. It's like a little bit of like the tang, citrusy tang.
Oh, okay.
For me, like it just pops in, pops out.
Let me see.
It sets it a little bit off profile of a standard wheater for me, just enough. But it's just full quality through and through for me. I love this bottle, especially at the price I paid. I think it drinks well at or above price point.
Oh, it drinks better than that Willett. Which just makes me so sad.
You can't win them all, man.
What I tell you. I knew it too, man. I knew right when I got it, but this one I think is good. It definitely gives you a Kentucky hug on the way down. Got a lot of cinnamon there at the finish, which I love. I think that's great. Is it cinnamon or is it just more like
just a lot of that spice?
Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it.
I don't know if it's cinnamon specific.
I don't think it is. I think it's more just baking spice in general.
Yeah, that's all I get on the finish. For me, it's a little bit creamy on the front. I love the viscosity of this too. It's nice and thick.
It really is. That's what I was noticing on the glass. They've all been that way though. Your two especially though. That Woodford had a nice
and the color on it too.
Oh. Now that you said creamy on the front, boy, I get it. It really is. That is so good. That's a winner. All right, I'll go first again since this is yours.
I'm intrigued where you're at here.
I think I'm at I'm gonna go like an 81, I think.
Oh, I was at 77.
Yeah, so I got you there a little bit. All right, let's get into the Jack 12.
Oh man, I just had my sample. He gave me a Jack 10 last night. This is perfect.
Yeah, you'll get to see how it compares. So, Jack 12. This was a bottle I wanted desperately, and I didn't think I was gonna find it. And this was earlier in the year. This was my very first purchase from Lisa at Seville.
Oh wow!
I went there.
That's a good start.
The second that I found out about them, I had heard that they had Penelope, and that was before Penelope started showing up everywhere here in town. And so I went to go get the Penelopes, and so I went up there and just grabbed a bunch of those, and then was just asking about the Jacks because that was what was on my list. And she's like, actually, I think I might have one more of the 10 and the 12. Whatever the retail was on this, 75 or something, whatever it is, it's what I paid.
It's
amazing, right?
Lisa's the best.
Dude, they're so good. Absolutely best. And so they instantly became like my favorite store from that moment on, because I was like, oh, you guys are awesome. Because you could have easily sold this for much more, but yeah.
And by the way, I snuck a nose of this, and wow.
Boy. Wow is the right word for it. 12. This is also 108 proof.
Okay. So a bit of a step down.
12 years. Jack Daniels, which for me, if I'm thinking Jack, I'm thinking maybe I'm going to get some like banana notes and stuff, but I don't think this is very different. It's not what you would think from like a Jack Daniels single barrel proof. It's not in that realm of flavor, which is so interesting to me.
It's amazing what 2 years difference can do. Because whenever I was drinking the 10, I'm like, okay, this is like banana bread extract.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes when I drink barrel proofs, I'm like, this is liquid banana bread. Like you blended up banana bread with water, and that's like what you got.
Yeah.
It's the Jack 10, I'm like, all right, this is like they took the spirit of banana bread and put it into a bottle.
And the Jack 10 is really good, but I don't get any of that on this. I get
none of the banana on this.
There's something strong on this nose that I can't put my finger on, and I'm hoping you can help me out with it, because there's like one note really coming through. It's a little bit of a sweeter note, But it might be just wood. I might be getting oak. I feel like I might be getting like a sweet oak. What was that term that you used? The sugar oak. Wood sugars. Yeah. But I don't know if that's what it is. But it's got like a oaky sweetness to it, but not overpowering. It's not like an...
Yeah, I get that sweet. I'm struggling to put my finger on it. Maybe whenever, put it on the palate.
Let's do it.
It'll come through.
Let's get in here. Oh.
Wow, that's exceptional. That is exceptional. I'm still lost. So we called the last one creamy. This one is creamy.
Oh, that finish is just excellent.
Yeah.
Man. Loss of words. Jack Daniels, by the way, is like, talk about a brand that is making quality stuff, but has kept their prices in check. That's what I love.
Oh yeah, they're running on all cylinders.
Yeah, I haven't had anything they've done that's not been good.
You don't hear of any bad product from them.
No.
There are some people that might dislike certain products, but just because they dislike it doesn't mean it's bad.
Right.
Like I've certainly had my fair share of bourbons that aren't for me, but I'm like, okay, I can see why people like it. But Jack Daniels, I don't think I know anybody that dislikes Jack Daniels, and for good reason.
The mouthfeel on this is so good.
I think it's surprisingly floral too, and that's just not something I get on Brown-Forman in general.
I get it now. Yeah.
Maybe that's like where some of that sweetness is coming from on the nose, but I still don't think that's it.
I'm so lost with this one. This one, I think you need to... I think your typical bourbon drinker can't appreciate something like... I think this one is so hard to put your finger on. I just imagine it's going to just... Every time you drink it, this isn't one I think you just like sit back with and just... This one I think you gotta like take some time with it, try and figure out, because every sip I'm taking too, it's like, well, what's this now? It's like, it's changing.
Yeah, you have to focus on this.
Boy, this one though.
I swear it's like every single sip that I took, and that's why, I'm almost done. I'm gonna take my last one here in a sec. Every single sip that I took, every single, inhale that I took, trying to get a smell of it, it's like there's just something else, something a little bit different. It makes it hard for me to pinpoint a specific note on it.
It's so good though.
Oh,
I'm ready for my score. I mean, I can score it. There's no problem with that. Like, I can tell you if it's good or not, and it is damn
I go first since it's...
Yeah, it's up to you to go first here, so let's see what you say.
85?
I'm going to give it an 89. That's where I was at with it.
We're going to Missouri with Ben Holladay. Was it Rickhouse Proof?
Yeah.
Rickhouse Proof. This is their standard release. I also have a store pick of this one, but I feel like their standard release that should hopefully be going national soon is the best representation of what their whiskey can be. So it's coming in at a rock solid, where do they hide it? 120.1 proof.
Wow.
So aged 6 years. Just heavy caramel on the nose. Then you take that first sip. It's caramel, it's toffee, vanilla. It's not as thick as some of the other things that we've had, but it's still a very good mouthfeel on it. And then the only thing that I wish was better about it, and it's only 6 years old, the finish is pretty one note and it goes away quicker than some of the other things we've had today, but we're pulling at strings here at this point.
This is great. That was gonna be my only thing. The finish is very fast. And it does feel, after the Jack Daniels, this is almost a like relief though.
Yeah.
Because it is so much simpler. Because it is just those things. And it's like what I got on the nose did just carry it through all the way. And it's like, oh, okay. There is, like you said, a lot of caramel in there.
Yeah.
And the toffee I get, and it's just, but you don't have to think as hard about this one, which is nice sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, I love a good complex bourbon, but this one.
Yeah, you can just drink this, enjoy your day without having to sit there and like feel like, man, I need my notepad,
Almost candy-like finish that time.
I see it. I feel like the oak really makes itself known on the finish for me. On the palate, I don't get much of that oak presence that I do on a lot of other ones, but the finish for me, it's like I see that candy, that sweetness that sort of leads off the finish, and then I'm just left with oak, and then it goes away.
This is a great one. Our palates are going to be destroyed. This one's straightforward, man. I like it.
Yeah, this is just You know, you look up bourbon in a dictionary, what bourbon should be is a perfect example of it. Yeah, Ben Holladay, they're doing it right. I'm really excited for them to get a bigger stage here in the next year, because I feel like this year was like their breakout for them.
Yeah, they're only going to get better from now, and they're starting to show up now on the shelves down here.
Yeah.
So their bottled and bond has been sitting at Total Wine for a couple weeks now. Soft red wheat just came in probably a week ago, and it's been, I think they only have a couple bottles left. But
And on an even more exciting note with them is they're doing distillery 10-year releases.
are they? Mm-hmm. When? Now?
Yeah, they're just releasing them occasionally throughout the year in 375 milliliter bottles, but
Just at the distillery, or?
yeah, just at the distillery. So
Man, that would be so good.
the fact that they're, you know, able to actually put those products out, that they have the aged product, because they didn't jump, you know, they didn't cut the corners by sourcing. They just started distilling. They started off with the 6-year bottled and bond, and then just kind of let it roll. I love what they're doing.
I do too. I have my score. I don't want you to take offense to the score, but for me, it's going to be, I'm bumping up, it's going to be an 80 for me. Because the way I see it is like,
That's higher than mine.
is it? Because for me, I was going to do a 75, because I felt like a 75 is kind of like that passing grade. But I feel like it's a little better than that. I mean, it's a little better than passing, I think, for me. And maybe I'm just generous with the scores.
I was at a 76. Not a slight at all to it.
Oh, we did
That's
exactly the
fantastic.
same thing then, because I went one below the bad apple, you went one below the bad apple. But we're also fans of wheated bourbons.
Yeah.
So I think that's also going to be a little bit of an influence. All right, let's take a break.
Should I have scraped some out for you? Okay, here, then let me get you